Good boy.
Wyoming Territory, 1888. Jesse Holt had been trying to sell the horse for 3 weeks. Not because he wanted to, because the bank note on his father's 40 acres came due in 30 days, and he had $11 saved and needed $50. The property was not much by most measures. It was everything by Jesse's. The horse's name was Copper. Copper was a 6-year-old chestnut with a white blaze down his nose and the temperament of an animal that had decided early in life which humans were worth his time and which were not. He was worth considerably more than $50 to anyone who understood horses. Jesse was pricing him low because he needed the sale fast, and because pricing Copper at what he was actually worth felt dishonest, like selling something that didn't belong to him entirely. Copper had been his father's before he was Jesse's. 3 weeks at the Clearwater trading post had produced 2 serious inquiries, both of which ended when the buyers tried to handle Copper and discovered that Copper had opinions about being handled by strangers. On the last Saturday of September, Jesse was at the post with diminishing confidence that the banknote was going to be paid, when a carriage came up the Clearwater road that was not the kind of carriage usually seen there. A woman stepped out. She was 40 years old, or close enough that the difference didn't matter, dressed in deep burgundy with black lace at the collar and black gloves, and the expression of a woman who has been assessing things long enough that the assessment is now entirely involuntary. She looked at Copper. She looked at the board with the price chalked on it. She looked at Jesse. $50, she said, not a question. Yes, ma'am. She reached out one gloved hand and touched Copper's nose, slowly, without hesitation, and Copper, who had sent 2 grown men sideways in 3 weeks, held completely still. She looked at Jesse. I'll pay double, she said, if the cowboy comes with him. Jesse looked at her. Ma'am? I need someone who understands this horse. He's particular. She held his gaze with green eyes that were entirely direct. $100 for the horse and a month's wages for you. Standard rate. Jesse looked at Copper. He looked at the woman. He thought about $11 and a banknote and 40 acres. All right, he said. I'll need your name. Diana Voss, she said. Whitmore Ranch, 12 miles north. Can you be there Monday? Yes, ma'am, he said. She got back in the carriage. Jesse watched it go. Copper watched it too, with the expression of an animal that has assessed something and not yet decided. Well, Jesse told him, that's different. 12 miles north was, in Jesse's experience, a reasonable distance between 2 very different worlds. The Whitmore Ranch was 5,000 acres of the best grazing land in the county, a main house with glass in every window, and a stable larger and better built than most houses Jesse had lived in. There were 12 full-time employees, a cook, a housekeeper, and a man named Miles Croft, who met Jesse at the gate Monday morning with the expression of someone who has been expecting a complication and has identified one. Croft was 45, well-dressed, with the manner of a man who had spent enough time managing other people's property that he had started to think of it as his own. He looked at Jesse the way you look at something that has appeared where it was not supposed to appear. They exchanged names. Croft explained the arrangement. East bunkhouse, stable behind the main house, reporting to Croft on ranch matters and to Diana directly on the horses. Jesse settled Copper in a stable better than anything either of them had occupied recently, and spent the afternoon learning the operation. It was a good ranch, well-maintained, well-stocked, managed with the care of someone who understood the land. He said this to the head wrangler, a weathered man named Tom. Tom looked at the stable wall. Good ranch when Croft isn't moving money around. Jesse looked at him. None of my business, Tom said. Just saying. He went back to work. Jesse filed this and went to meet Diana Voss about the horses. He did not yet know that Tom's 2 sentences were the most useful information he would receive in his first week on the Whitmore Ranch. She was in the stable when he arrived for their first meeting. Not the house, the stable. In a work dress with her auburn hair pinned less elaborately than Saturday, and her green eyes on a young mare in the second stall, showing early signs of a hoof problem that had not yet been caught. "The farrier was here 2 weeks ago," Diana said without looking at Jesse. "He said she was fine." Jesse crouched and ran his hand along the hoof wall. "Your farrier was wrong." She looked at him. "Not badly wrong, early stage. We catch it now, she's fine in 3 weeks. We don't, it gets complicated." He stood. "I'll need to look at the others too." "All of them?" "If this one was missed, I want to know what else was." She held his gaze for a moment. "Start with the mare." The assessment took 2 hours. She stayed for all of it, asking questions that were specific and practical. Questions that demonstrated she understood considerably more about horses than the average wealthy ranch owner. They found 2 other issues the farrier had missed. Minor, both. Real. By the time they finished, the afternoon light had changed, and Diana was leaning on the stall gate with her arms crossed, looking at Jesse with the expression he would come to know as her thinking expression. Not quite a smile, something between assessment and something else. "You're not what I expected," she said. "What did you expect?" She looked at the mare. "Someone who would say the farrier was fine." He looked at her. "Why would I say that?" "Because it's easier," she said, "and because he's the one I was paying." He looked at the hoof he had caught in time. "Easier isn't useful," he said. She was quiet for a moment. "Supper is at 6 if you'd like to join the household." He joined. It was the first of many suppers, and walking back to the bunkhouse that evening, Jesse thought about 2 things: the mare's hoof, which was going to be fine, and the way Diana Voss had said easier isn't useful back to him, like she was testing whether he meant it. Jesse found the first discrepancy in the second week. He had not been looking for it. He was asking Tom about the pasture rotation, understanding a ranch he had been asked to maintain, and Tom mentioned that the South herd had sold 40 head at the Cheyenne auction in August. The accounting board in the stable office showed 32. Surprised, 8 fewer than Tom remembered. Jesse said nothing. He went back to the stable and sat with it. He thought about Tom's 2 sentences on the first day. He thought about Croft's expression at the gate. Curious. He spent the next 3 days paying attention to things he had no particular reason to pay attention to. Feed receipts, equipment purchases, casual references the hands made about sales and transactions. He found 3 more discrepancies, all in the same direction, amounts logged smaller than what the hands recalled, none large enough to be obvious alone. Together, they described something that was not accidental. He sat with this for 2 more days. He did not know Diana well enough yet to know how she would receive it. He knew that having the information and not giving it to her was the same as choosing Croft's side. He was not choosing Croft's side. He asked to speak with her Thursday evening. She was in her study. He had not been there before. A room that said something about her. Practical bookshelves. No decorative objects that didn't serve a function. A window that faced the stable rather than the mountains. She looked up when he came in with the expression of someone who has been expecting a conversation she was not certain she wanted to have. "Sit down, Jesse," she said. He sat. He told her what he had found. He laid out the numbers plainly, in order, without softening them. When he finished, she looked at the figures he had written and did not speak immediately. The silence was not uncomfortable. It was the silence of a woman processing something accurately. "How certain are you?" she said. "The Cheyenne sale records are public," he said. "Tom gave me his numbers before I checked anything. The gap is consistent across 4 transactions going back 2 years. She looked at the numbers a moment longer. "I trusted him," she said. "To the numbers, not to Jesse." The acknowledgement of someone who has understood something they should have understood earlier. "He was careful," Jesse said. "You wouldn't have caught it without knowing what to look for." She looked at him. "You knew what to look for after 2 weeks." "I was looking at different things than you were," he said. "You were running a ranch. I was trying to understand one." She closed the ledger. "I'll need a lawyer from Cheyenne," she said. "Not someone Croft knows." "Yes," Jesse said. "Keep doing what you're doing," she said. "Don't let him know you found anything." He stood to go. At the door, she said, "Jesse." He stopped. "Thank you," she said. Not in the tone of an employer thanking a hand, the tone of one person thanking another. He nodded. He went back to the stable. He thought about that tone for considerably longer than was strictly necessary. Croft came to the stable on a Friday morning. Jesse was working with Copper, the daily handling that kept a horse like Copper manageable. Croft stood at the door with the expression of a man who has made a decision and come to deliver it. "Mrs. Voss has asked me to inform you that your arrangement will be concluding at the end of the month." Jesse kept working. "She told you that?" "She's asked me to manage the staffing situation. I'll hear it from her directly. She's not available." "Then I'll wait." Jesse looked at Croft for the first time. "Is there something else?" Something moved through Croft's face, the shift of a man who was offered a negotiated exit and had it declined. "You've been here 3 weeks. The horse is settled. There's no reason to extend. Mrs. Voss hired me for a month. The month isn't finished." Croft looked at him with the patience of a man who has been winning these conversations for 20 years. "I would think carefully," he said, "about the difference between what an arrangement says on paper and what is practical." He left. Jesse looked at Copper. Copper looked at the door with the expression of an animal that has assessed something and found it wanting. Jesse went to find Diana. He found her in the kitchen garden, cutting late herbs, which was not where he had pictured her. She looked up when she heard him. "Croft told me my arrangement is concluding," he said. Croft was not authorized to say that. Her voice was level. "He knows I've sent for a lawyer. He doesn't know why, but he knows something has changed, and he is trying to remove the variable he can't control." Jesse held her gaze. "He'll try something before the lawyer gets here," he said. "He has a week at most before this becomes formal, and he's had 2 years of practice at being careful." She set down the herbs. "What would you do?" she said, "if it were your property?" He thought about 40 acres and $11. "Stay close to what mattered most," he said, "and don't be anywhere alone." She held his gaze for a moment longer than the words required. "Then stay close," she said. He went back to the stable. He thought about the tone of those 2 words for the rest of the afternoon. "Before we go on, I want to ask you something different today. Most of you listening right now are somewhere in the middle of something. Maybe you're driving, maybe you're cooking or folding laundry, or sitting on a porch watching the evening come in. That's what Frontier Hearts is for. If this story is keeping you company today, leave a like. It means more than you know. And tell me in the comments, what are you doing right now while you listen? I genuinely want to know. Now let's get back, because Miles Croft is about to make his move. 3 days before the lawyer was due, 2 breeding mares disappeared from the south pasture overnight. No clear tracks, no evidence of how they had left. Croft presented himself at the main house at 7 with the expression of a man delivering bad news he is trying not to appear pleased about. The south pasture gate was left open. Careless management of the stable. Jesse was at the window. He had been there since 6 when he had found the mares gone. He looked at the gate in question. It was a double iron drop latch, 2 deliberate movements to open. It did not fail on its own. Someone had opened it. The latch was operated. Jesse said. Accidents happen. Not with this kind. He looked at Diana. The south draw channels anything moving through it toward the creek. If they went that direction, there will be tracks at the water. I can find them. He found them 3 hours later in a shallow canyon 2 miles south, the mares standing calmly in a space that had been used to hold animals before. A rope strung across the canyon entrance. New rope. Someone had planned for this. He brought the mares back. He said nothing to Croft about the rope. He gave it to Diana privately. She held it in both hands and looked at it for a long time. He needed to establish negligence, she said. Something to complicate the legal situation before Henderson arrives. She set the rope down. The lawyer arrives Thursday. I know, Jesse said. I'd like you to sleep in the tack room until then, she said, close to the stable. He looked at her. She looked back with the green eyes that had been direct since the first day at the trading post. The tack room is comfortable, she said. It's close, he said. Yes, she said. That's the point. He moved to the tack room. The distance from the main house to the stable was 40 yards. He measured it that evening without meaning to. He thought about the phrase, "that's the point," for a considerable portion of the night. The lawyer's name was Henderson. 60 years old, 30 in practice, 4 previous fraud cases in Wyoming Territory, and 3 of them won. He arrived Thursday morning and spent 4 hours in Diana's study with the ledgers, the Cheyenne sale records, the rope from the South Canyon, and Tom's testimony, which Tom gave with the directness of a man who had been waiting for someone to ask. Miles Croft was asked to present himself at 2 o'clock. He came in prepared. He was not prepared enough. Henderson was specific and methodical, and gave Croft no room to reframe what the numbers showed. The gap between recorded amounts and public auction records was not ambiguous. The rope was not ambiguous. Tom's account of the August sale was not ambiguous. Croft left the study at 4 with an agreement signed under Henderson's witness, full accounting, a payment schedule, immediate and permanent withdrawal from the Whitmore Ranch. Henderson made clear, in the quiet tone of a man who means what he says, that the alternative was a territorial court filing with a different kind of outcome. Jesse was in the stable when Croft walked past on his way to collect his things. Croft stopped. "You're 26 years old," Croft said. "You came here to sell a horse." "Yes," Jesse said. "This isn't your world," Croft said. Jesse looked at him steadily. "What I came here for," he said, "doesn't have much to do with the world you're thinking about." Croft held his gaze for a moment longer. Then he walked on. Jesse watched him go. He thought about 40 acres and a banknote and $100 and a woman who had said, "That's the point." He thought about Croft saying, "This isn't your world," and about whether that was true, and about what world actually meant when you were standing in the right stable at the right time. She found him in the stable that evening. Copper was settled. The mares were back. The ranch was quieter than it had been all week with Croft's presence removed. The way a room is quieter when the source of a low, persistent sound stops. Diana came in and stood at the stall gate the way she had stood on the first day, when they had found the mare's hoof problem together. "It's done," she said. "I heard. He'll make the payments. Henderson is certain he'll comply." "Good." She was quiet. He kept working. "Your month ends Sunday," she said. "I know. I'd like you to stay." He stopped. He looked at her. She held his gaze with the green eyes that had been direct since the first day. "Not as stable manager," she said, "though you're better at it than anyone I've had. Not as an employee." She looked at Copper, who was watching the conversation with the attention of an animal that has developed opinions about the humans in his space. "I am 40 years old. I have been running this ranch alone for 5 years, and I am good at it. and it is not enough." She looked at Jesse. "You are 26, and you came here to sell a horse, and you found in 2 weeks what 2 years of trust had been hiding, and you stayed close when I asked you to." She held his gaze. "I am not asking you because of what you did this month," she said. "I'm asking because of what I know about the person who did it." He looked at her. He thought about Copper holding still for a gloved hand at the trading post when he had not held still for anyone in 3 weeks. He thought about Croft saying, "This isn't your world." He thought about what world actually was. "Diana," he said. "Yes." "I'm 26, he said. "I know how old you are," she said. He almost smiled. It was the first time in the entire conversation, and she saw it, and something in her face changed. "I'd like to court you," he said. "Properly, if that's something you'd consider." She looked at him for a long moment. Then, "Jesse," she said. "Yes." "I have been willing to consider it," she said, "since approximately the Thursday you told me my farrier was wrong." He looked at her. "That was the second day," he said. "I know," she said. "What took you so long?" He laughed. "The real one. The kind that arrives without warning and changes the quality of a room." She smiled. "The full one. The one that had been implied in everything since the trading post and had not arrived completely until now." And Copper, who had been watching with the attention of an animal that has formed strong opinions, turned his head away in the manner of a horse that has seen enough and is satisfied with the outcome. They were married on a Tuesday afternoon in September. Diana had discussed the town's expectations and reached the conclusion that the town's expectations were not her primary concern. The Reverend came to the ranch. 2 household staff served as witnesses. Tom stood at the back of the main room with the expression of a man who had known this was coming since October and was gratified to be right. Jesse wore his good shirt and the vest Diana had bought him in August, which he had worn exactly twice and protested once. Diana wore deep green, the color of Wyoming in good years, the color of her eyes. The vows were simple. Neither of them needed elaborate. After, they had supper with the household, and Tom made a toast that was brief and correct and caused Diana to put her hand over her mouth to contain a laugh, which was the intended effect, and which Tom received with appropriate satisfaction. The following morning, they took the stage to Cheyenne. Jesse had seen the Union Pacific line before, had ridden alongside it, had watched the trains move through Wyoming with the authority of something that has decided on its direction. He had never boarded one. He did not say this until they were at the station, at which point Diana looked at him with the expression she wore when he said something that specifically surprised her. "Never?" "Horses," he said, "and stages when necessary." She looked at the train. "Then this will be something." It was something. The Union Pacific moved west through Wyoming with the authority of something that has decided on its direction and is not reconsidering it. Jesse sat beside Diana in the private car she had reserved. He had protested this once, briefly, and she had looked at him and said nothing, and he had understood that certain arguments were not going to be productive, and watched Wyoming go past the window. He had grown up in this territory. He had ridden every kind of land it had, worked in most of its weather, understood its particular character in the way of someone who has been paying attention for 26 years. He had not seen it from a train window. It looked different from here, larger, more deliberate. The distances that took days on horseback passing in minutes, the landscape revealing itself in a different order than the one he knew. Diana was reading. She was always reading when she had the opportunity, and the afternoon light was coming through the window in the way of late September light, warm and specific, catching the auburn in her hair. Jesse looked at Wyoming going past. He looked at Diana. He thought about a trading post in Clearwater and $50 and a horse that had held still for a gloved hand when he had held still for no one. He thought about a farrier who had missed something, and a Thursday evening in a study, and a rope from a South Canyon, and a woman who had said, "That's the point," in the tone of someone who meant considerably more than the words. He thought about Croft. "This isn't your world." "Diana," he said. She looked up from the book. "Yes." "Croft told me this wasn't my world," he said. She looked at him with the green eyes that had been direct since the first day. "What did you say?" "Nothing. I didn't know how to answer." He looked at Wyoming going past the window, the territory he had grown up in, now moving differently than it ever had, carrying him toward San Francisco and whatever came next. "I think the answer," he said, "is that world is wherever the right things are." She held his gaze. "And?" she said. "I'm looking at them both," he said. She looked at him for a moment. Then she closed the book. She leaned her head against his shoulder. He put his arm around her. Outside, Wyoming continued past the window, the high plains going gold in the afternoon, the mountains beginning at the horizon, the whole of it enormous and unhurried in the way of things that do not need to prove anything. The train moved through it with the authority of something that has decided on its direction. And so had they. Jesse Holt went to the Clearwater trading post to sell a horse for $50. He came home on a train to San Francisco with a wife. That is not how he planned the day. That is exactly how it should have gone. I think about what Croft said. This isn't your world. He was right that it wasn't the world Jesse had come from. He was wrong about everything else. The world you belong in is not determined by where you started. It is not the sum of what you own or what someone has decided about you before you arrived. It is determined by what you do when someone hands you a problem and trusts you to tell them the truth. Jesse told the truth on the second day, about a farrier who had missed something and a mare that needed attention. He said it directly and without waiting to see how it landed. That was the whole of it. Tell the truth. Stay close to what matters. Don't let anyone convince you that you don't belong in a world where the right things are. May God bless each and every one of you who listened today. Until next time, keep riding.